Now, over the past few months, if you watched my content, you know that I tend to wait a few days, a few weeks, in order to talk about certain storylines, certain news pieces that come out on wrestling news websites, and that is simply because when it comes to immediacy, people tend to go to the extremes. They're either really hyped or they're really pissed. So, about a few months ago, when Jade Cargill lost to Chris Statlander, she lost her TBS Championship, she lost her undefeated streak. Of course, I was disappointed. I was pissed because you built her up to the point where she was, I believe, 50 or 60-0, and then you make her drop the TBS Championship to a superstar that did not need to win, like Chris Statlander. There's a video a few months back where I said that I believe that Jade Cargill could at one point challenge the Women's World Champion, champion versus champion, title versus title, and that could put her over even further with the crowd and amongst the AEW totem pole. Obviously, that didn't play out that way. About a week and a half ago, we saw Jade Cargill's apparent last match with AEW, once again in a defeat to Chris Statlander, and hindsight is 2020. Because it seems that throughout the past few months, Jade Cargill's contract with AEW was running out and it was not going to be renewed by Tony Khan and company, and that basically explains the fact as to why she lost the TBS title in the first place, why she lost her undefeated streak, and then she lost to Chris Statlander a second time on her way out in the main event of Rampage last week. Because now the news is that she did not re-sign with AEW. She's in fact been spotted at the Performance Center in WWE in Orlando, Florida. And according to rumors, according to reports, WWE is making big plans for her on the main roster as far as maybe Monday Night Raw or SmackDown is concerned. Now, if you ask me, she's a better fit on Monday Night Raw, especially because Rhea Ripley doesn't really have any real, true threats to her title, to the point that they've had to bring back a superstar like Nia Jax, who isn't the most popular amongst WWE fans, to challenge her for the championship. Now, as far as her AEW run is concerned, Jade Cargill did a fantastic job throughout her entire run, specifically with her undefeated streak. And again, if she had resigned with AEW, if she was going to stay in with a long run, and I'm not going to talk about money here because I don't know the exact numbers that AEW produces. I don't know the exact number that AEW was paying Jade Cargill to be a part of the company, but all the investment they made on her when it comes to TV time, all the people that she beat for the title, that undefeated streak. Again, I'm going to keep hitting that point on a nail because that was a very important part of the female division in AEW. If she had re-signed with AEW, then at that point you keep her undefeated, you keep the TBS Championship on her as long as possible, and you make her loss seem much more important than it was against somebody like Chris Statlander, who was already a fan favorite, who could, in my opinion, could have challenged for the Women's World Championship and become the Women's World Champion, and it would have had the exact same result that she has right now with the TBS title, even though they're both. Even though the TBS title is the secondary title, the mid-card title for the women's division, to me, Chris Statlander is just that kind of superstar. She's not a Britt Baker. She's not a Jade Cargill. She's not a Jamie Hayter at this point. She's not a Saraya or a Toni Storm. She might get there at one point, but as of right now, that's not where she needs to be. Like I said, she's a fan favorite. Her winning the championship, sure, big pop. Okay, what's next? There's very little excitement in her title reign, and I feel like that was that hindered AEW's current women's division. And unfortunately, that's how things play out. Contracts run up in AEW, contracts run up in WWE, and Jade Cargill going to WWE is a big freaking deal, specifically if they debut her on the main roster with big title implications, which it seems that they're about to do. So with that said, what are your thoughts on Jade Cargill's run with AEW? Do you think she should have re-signed with the company? Do you think it was the best move for her career to go on to WWE, bigger, better things, a bigger platform, possibly showing up on Monday Night Raw in the next few weeks? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. In the meantime, tune in later on tonight to Access TV for another episode of Impact Wrestling. I believe it is the second part of Impact's 1000 special. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.